Hi, Jenny here. Today we are going to be making a vegetable and rice dish. So let's get started. For this recipe we are going to need 2 carrots, 2 zucchini, 2 tablespoons of olive oil, 1 onion, a quarter head of some Chinese cabbage, or else I found this bag of a mixture with cabbage and some other things in there. Depending on the size of your mushrooms, you need 3 to 4 large or about 8 small, small head of broccoli, 2 tablespoons of soy sauce, 2 cloves of garlic, and 1 cup of rice. Go ahead and make your rice according to the package directions, so whatever type of rice that you would like. And then for the carrots, we are going to cut those into like little sticks. For the zucchini, we're going to cut those into circles and then cut those in half. The onions we will cut into slices. The mushrooms we'll cut into slices. The broccoli we'll just cut up a little bit. The garlic we will mince. So I'm going to go ahead and prepare all these vegetables and then we'll get to cooking them. So for the carrots being in the little stick type shape, we'll go ahead and cut the carrot into a couple different pieces and then cutting them again into the stick type shape so you have a little bit of smaller pieces. Ding. Try to get the carrots also in smaller I guess total size pieces. So after you slice them, to slice them in smaller widths so that they all will cook at the same time, and also they'll cook quickly because they'll be a thin width. So if you have something that's way thicker, then that will take a lot longer to cook, and we want this all to cook at the same time. So granted, the carrots and the broccoli and the onions will be cooked first so that they get a little bit of a longer cooking time. Zucchini doesn't take as long to cook and stuff, so that will go in later. Alright, we will cut the onion into slices. So I'll show you one half. So basically, just into those thin slices. We don't need to dice it up. So we'll leave it like this. So there you go. We'll just throw those in with the carrots. Okay, and then that broccoli we'll also just make into smaller pieces. Seeing as the mushrooms and zucchini will be added in later, we'll go ahead and cut those up and also add them to their own bowl so they will be ready. So we'll just chop off those ends, and then, like I said, we'll cut them into the rounds. Again, nice thin slices so that they will cook all nice and evenly and quickly. And then once we have them in the rounds, we're going to go ahead and just chop them in half. So we'll have nice half circles. And again, we'll just Do that with the zucchini. And then for the mushrooms, we'll do the same thing. We are just going to, sure we are. Guess I need a sharper knife. Oh, we're just gonna try to cut these in slices. Dun, 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 dun. Alrighty, well, you get the idea. So we'll finish that off. In a very large skillet, we are going to go ahead and heat our 2 tablespoons-ish of oil. So we need enough to cover the bottom of our pan there. We'll cook it on high heat. And first off, we are going to cook those carrots, broccoli, and onions, and the garlic. It's so colorful. Looks so nice. Get that garlic in there. And we'll cook this for about 5 minutes-ish. And then we'll be adding the rest of the vegetables. Alright, that 5 minutes is pretty much up. The onions are translucent. So we'll go ahead and add our zucchini. A lot of zucchini. I'm adding about a cup of the slaw mixture. I could have added more broccoli, but because I had some broccoli in the slaw mixture, I thought, well, I'm just going to add a little bit of that. Again, if you had a quarter head of the cabbage, then you just have all the cabbage. Get those mushrooms in there. I could have actually added some more of the slaw too. We'll see how this looks as it's cooking. For me, personally, because I have a colostomy, cabbage is one of the things that I found a little bit harder for me to eat. Cooked vegetables are fine. Maybe cooked cabbage will be better also. I did have some raw cabbage in a salad, and it ended up giving me a stomachache. So, I was a little leery. I figured, plus this recipe only calls for like a quarter head of the cabbage, and I thought, well, it's the same. What am I going to do with the rest of it? So I'm not going to be able to put it in a salad. Thought I could have looked up like a cabbage soup or something, but figure we'll see how this goes with this one being cooked, and how it goes for me, if I'll find another recipe or not for cabbage. So again, we're going to cook this for another like 2 to 5 minutes. So zucchini should start to get a little bit translucent also, and the mushrooms will look like they're getting a little bit cooked. The vegetables and rice are finished. So it was taking a little while for the zucchini to cook. It was supposed to be about 2 minutes-ish or so for those vegetables to be done, but the zucchini wasn't coming apart. Unlike the onions that I didn't peel apart kind of before putting them in there, those nicely all broke apart as they were cooking. The zucchini with that moisture content was all kind of sticking together, so I had to get a fork out, and between the fork and the spatula I'm like breaking apart all the zucchini pieces to make sure they got cooked. So I know one of the other recipes that I've made on here before was the bow tie pasta, zucchini and tomatoes, and that one it suggests to cook the zucchini first and then put it aside, and then you add it back in later. I thought about that while I was cooking this one, but in reality these seem to be like a good amount of doneness. They're not overdone, whereas in my other recipe it seemed a little bit overdone. So I also did not add the soy sauce in this recipe in the pot. You can do that, add your 2 tablespoons right away. I just added some to my own dish. I know some people prefer it that way, or I don't believe my soy sauce is low sodium, and I want to share this with my mom, and I know she's got low salt soy sauce at her, low sodium, like sodium, salt, low sodium soy sauce at her house, so that she can add her own to the recipe, and that way it won't be too salty for her. This basmati rice has become our favorite rice in this household. It's got a little nutty taste to it and stuff. So good, it's so tasty. I like the minute rice that it cooks quickly, but the basmati rice has taste to it. So zucchini is nice. It's got a little bit of crunch to it, a little bit of heartiness, so it's not overdone. So that's really good. That tastes good. I think I'd add a little bit more broccoli. I could have added a little bit more cabbage. It's got a lot of zucchini. The carrots that was a good amount too. So I like that. I forgot what else I was going to say. So this recipe had been in my folder online of food that I've made before. I don't recall making this with either salmon or zucchini. Maybe I had a little bit less than that. But it's a good one. I like it. It's got a lot of good vegetables in there for you. And like I said, then you can add as much or as little, obviously, of the other ingredients. If you want more cabbage, like I said, the recipe called for the cabbage, but I didn't find any small amount. I didn't find a bag of just shredded cabbage except for the red, and I thought I wanted to go with white with this. So I had that bag of extra stuff, so that's got some good tasty vegetables in there too. So in any case, I will leave this recipe down below. I'm gonna go enjoy my dinner. Let me know in the comments down below if you like dishes like this, if you like to eat zucchini, the carrots, the broccoli, mushrooms. I don't really care for mushrooms, but I know that Wayne and my mom like mushrooms, so I figured I'd add them in. I can always pick them out. Or I know mushrooms are good for you, so I can usually eat them in their small bites like this. That should be fine, but make the recipe to your liking. So anyways, I'm gonna enjoy my dinner. You guys keep it positive. Go make it a great day. Bye-bye.